is going on? Welcome to Metal Ben's Chronicles, where metal lives. It's been a very long time since we actually did a regular video on this channel, it seems. Oh, geez, I think it's been since, what, June? July, maybe? It's been a while, but, right now what we have here, and this is going to be divided into two parts because I have 25 CDs to show, and I basically split them up into two parts here, so we're going to do the first half first, the first 13, which these are all used purchases, from my local record shop here, Extremities and Second and Charles. Yeah. And this is like purchases I made within the last month or so. So, yeah, here we go. These ones are actually pretty recent. So, up first, we got Danzig 2, Lucifuge. The second album by Danzig. Really good album, one of my favorite Danzig albums. Really lucky to find these, when I found them, and I didn't pay a lot for them, because it seems like Danzig used is getting pretty hard to come by these days, and if you do find copies, they're usually pretty, they're starting to get pretty pricey, Obviously, the classic lineup with Glenn Danzig, obviously, Eerie Von, Chuck Biscuits, and John Christ. That's right, the classic lineup. Too bad that lineup will not reunite, man. But yeah, we got Danzig 2, Lucifuge, right there. Really cool stuff. And I got Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Boy, debatable. This might be my favorite Danzig album. It was actually the first one I heard back in 93. Must have been 93. But yeah. Right there. Another lucky find. Then moving on, I really don't gotta explain this one because everybody knows it, and I needed it for my collection. And this one, I kind of held off getting. I have it on cassette tape, actually, and it's still fairly easy to find, and you can get it cheap. I'm talking about Blackout by the Scorpions. Don't really gotta talk much about it, we all know it. It's an excellent album, and I think their newest album, Rock Believer, is probably the best they've done since Blackout, to be honest, Now this band, I found a couple other used CDs from this band too. I'm thinking about going back up and picking them up here, when I get the money. But this came out on Earache in 98, I believe. Yeah, the debut by The Haunted. Thrash metal, melodic death metal, had some members from At the Gates in it, and Cradle of Filth, I believe. This is a really good album, man. It's quite thrashy, man. You can hear a lot of Slayer on here. I really enjoyed it. I saw these guys once. When did I see them? It was Ozfest 2005, I believe. Or it might have been 2004 when they played Ozfest, is when I got to see The Haunted. And they were pretty damn good live from what I remember. Hard to believe that's going on almost 20 years, man. Here's one, that I haven't heard in quite a long time. I owned it years ago, and I got it again here. Yeah, man. Okay. Chimera's second album. Yeah, The Possibility of Reason. Is that right? The Impossibility of Reason, excuse me. I had this years ago. Honestly, I really don't listen to a lot of metalcore anymore. But this is one band I can tolerate, I do like still. I kind of wish they would get back together. There's a few bands in that camp that I still like Shadows Fall, and definitely Chimera. To me, two of the best bands from that movement. Debatable if you want to call this metalcore or groove metal. There's even some thrash on here. But this is a really good album, Okay, here's a band I remember hearing way back in the early 2000s. I never really heard a full length from them. I heard a couple tracks on a Nuclear Blast compilation CD way back when, and I found this dirt cheap. I figured, you know what, if I don't like it, it doesn't matter because I only paid like $2 for this. But we got Raunchy, their debut album, Velvet Noise. This came out in 2001 on Nuclear Blast Records. Actually, not that bad of a listen. It's like a combination of Fear Factory and some melodic death metal influences, a little bit of groove metal. It's not bad. I needed this for my collection. Man, this was a painful listen again. Honestly, this one I have not listened to in, oh God, probably since 98 or 99, like around the time it came out. I had this on cassette tape, but I found it in the used bin at, Second and Charles. And I'm like, I gotta get it. And it's the original Ignition Records issue of this album, because Ignition would go bankrupt. And I'm talking about Volume 8, The Threat Is Real by Anthrax. Right there. That is the original copy. This was a freaking agonizing listen, though. I did listen to it again. I'm like, ooh, not a good album, but I needed it to fill my gap. And every copy I came across was just way too expensive. Oh yeah, by the way, if I didn't show that already, and not sure if I showed that one either. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, it's back in my collection. I needed it to fill the gaps. Easily the worst Anthrax album. It's just a very boring album. There's like maybe 2 or 3 good tracks on it. And we got a melodic death metal band here. Remains of the Gods is what the album's called. It came out in 2005. Like This City. A band I was kind of familiar with back in the day, but never actually sat down and listened to a full length, and it was dirt cheap. I figured if I don't like it, whatever. It's actually not that bad of a listen. I mean, it's just your typical melodic death metal, Okay, that's the end of the Second and Charles purchases. Now moving on to the Extremities Entertainment purchases. Okay, so we got, oh man, I can't believe I found this. I've been actually looking for this for years, and I only found it for $6 freaking dollars. Circle of Dust Brainchild came out on Rex Records back in 1994. Man, this is a damn good industrial metal album. One of my favorites, man. I mean, this would have been labeled Christian industrial metal because I believe there is members of Believer on here. Yeah, the original CD. I can't believe I found this. Such a good album, man. One of my favorites when it comes to industrial metal. Oh, man. Then we got another one here. Holy cow, this freaking album is so freaking good. I just got this back on Monday. I'm talking about Power Trip. Nightmare Logic. Oh my God, this is good. Why I didn't get this back in 2018 when it came out, I don't know. Man, the riffs on here are just pummeling. It reminds me of early Sepultura. It really does. Really good stuff here. And I apologize if you hear a dog barking in the background. Okay, now this one has Andy Sneap on it. These guys were a new wave of British heavy metal band, I believe. We got the band Hell with Human Remains. Pretty good stuff here. Kind of reminds me of Merciful Fate or King Diamond a little bit. Came out on Nuclear Blast in 2011. Pretty good stuff. And Andy Sneap produced it and does all the guitars, I believe. Another lucky find that I've been looking for a while too. I have it on vinyl. I used to have it on cassette, but I never ever had it on CD, but now I got it on CD. Talking about Merciful Fate, Into the Unknown. I honestly don't think Merciful Fate has a bad album. This one's pretty good still, you know. And yeah, right there you go. This would be the last album to feature Michael Denner, though. And after that, he would leave, and that's pretty much it. But you know, a really good listen. Hey, it's Merciful Fate. Came out in '96 at a time where a lot of metal like that really wasn't coming out, so. And this one I ordered off of Amazon Prime used for like $5. Dream Theater Images and Words, don't really have to talk about it. The second album, the first with James LeBray on vocals. Right there you go. And that's pretty much it for part one here. I'll probably do part two tomorrow. Yeah, that's my CD update, man. I'm going to try to get back into the groove of making videos again. I've been kind of missing it as of late. I want to try to bring some positive energy back to the channel, you know. Anyways, cheers. Subscribe if you're new. Keep it metal. You know, like and share this video. Do whatever you gotta do. Leave some cool comments. And yeah, I'll be back for part two. Possibly tomorrow. Keep it metal.